God damn, he's good. Don't be yourself. That's a load of horse shit. So today I have a great one for you. Following up on power dynamics, I would like to talk about things that we can learn from Frank Underwood. A great show showing how politics are really done, behind the curtain. And I think many of it is very true, depicting the reality. Frank is a very ruthless leader, and he will not stop at anything on his way to power. He has some great points on human nature and how to deal with the success that you get in life on your way to the top. So let's get into it.
I didn't plan on telling him so much so soon, but if I didn't, Linda would have swayed him. There's no better way to overpower a trickle of doubt than with a flood of naked truth. This is why the education bill was so important. It bought me influence precisely when I needed it most.
Societies are built upon rules, lies, deception, which is very understandable. You cannot build civilizations without sacrificing individuals, blood, sweat, tears. Do you think those pyramids in Egypt could be built without any slaves? I think not, and I'm not saying that it is good nor bad. I am saying it's how it is, stating the facts. Which comes to my point that truth in societies is very rare, shocking, and controversial. It's like that scene from Matrix when Neo is overrun by Agent Smiths and he breaks loose because truth is more powerful than lie, and it will always shine in darkness. Truth is like a grenade thrown at a cluster of enemies. It clears up the area.
To lower expectations.
Oh, no, Pardon me, sir. President Petrov's motorcade is 15 out.
Thank you. I'll let you go.
Bob, we have a few more minutes. Please sit down.
You have a lot on your plate today. Why don't we pick it up tonight at the state dinner? Looking forward to it, Mr. President.
What is the face of a coward? The back of his head as he runs from the battle.
Reputation is like your shadow. It will always follow you wherever you go. It's a pact of honor. It's a treaty that you sign with your coalition, with your community. It's a badge of belongingness. Betray that trust and you will regret for the rest of your life, or at least until you move out from that community. Cowardice implies that you are not trustworthy. That's why people avoid cowards like a lethal disease.
I've always loathed the necessity of sleep. Like death, it puts even the most powerful men on their backs.
Sleep is overrated, they say. Personally, I find myself to be more energized and performing over the top when my mental state is very sharp at the moment being, and it is very often tied to how smoothly things are going for me. That being said, you shouldn't succumb to adversities. Push harder. I remember reading Arnold's biography where he said that he wished that he could be that Terminator who didn't need to sleep and get the extra 6-7 hours a day to put onto his work. That being said, make sure that you are rested. Otherwise, you won't be performing, and it will set your progress back instead of making advancement.
I promised the president a soft touch. I can't intentionally break my promise.
What if it was unintentional? Kathy, if you don't like how the table is set, turn over the table.
This one is so crucial and important, and I don't think people watching this show even realize that. When the game is rigged, you don't participate. If you're dissatisfied, if you're uncomfortable with your current situation, you have to make a choice to walk your own way, create your own games, set up your own rules, and focus on your strengths. You won't win a game where you don't have the upper hand. Walk away and do your own thing. That is exactly why I created this channel.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Fang. In Gaffney, we had our own brand of diplomacy. Shake with your right hand, but hold a rock in your left.
Treaty with the enemy doesn't mean you have to lower your gun. Be always prepared. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Never rely on others' goodwill. If you do, you will be shocked, and at that point it will be too late. Stay alert, be at your best, always.
Power is a lot like real estate. It's all about location, location, location. The closer you are to the source, the higher your property value. Centuries from now, when people watch this footage, who will they see smiling just at the edge of the frame?
So help me God. Congratulations.
Being closer to power sentiment applies to all endeavors. Like being a YouTuber, people will always listen to someone who has the numbers, not the one who has most reasoning and sense. And that's understandable, that's a human nature. We tend to idolize and give more credibility to those who already possess success, not to the contenders, who have the sense, who have the reasoning, but aren't quite there yet. The closer you come to your goals, the more power you gain, which is basically an indication of social proof.
Did Zoe expect me to twiddle my thumbs until her arrival? Perhaps she's making the mistake thinking her time is as valuable as mine. Proximity to power deludes some into believing they wield it. I put an end to that sort of thinking before it begins.
And if I'm not mistaken...
Just because you wave the fan at the Sultan doesn't mean that you're almost as powerful as him. Power is the ability to attain things and achieve goals that you wish for, and that by any means. Those capable of doing exactly that have the real power. When it comes to power, it's not what you appear to be, it's what you really possess. In France, during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte, he had the chief negotiator, Talleyrand. That person had a lot of power, although he didn't have the sexiest position in the empire. He knew people, he knew how to manipulate them, he knew what he had to do in order to achieve his goals. For him, it was like a play of chess, and he always reached for what he was aiming for.
I don't know yet.
After all, we are nothing more or less than what we choose to reveal. What I am to Claire is not what I am to Zoe, just as Zoe is not to me what she is to her father.
What people think you are is what you show them. Clothes, hobbies, personality, other likings. You create a persona which can be molded in any way you wish for. So don't be yourself. That's a load of horse shit. Strive to evolve constantly. Only very few in your life will have the privilege to know you personally. The rest are just NPCs in your film called life.
Do you think I'm a hypocrite? Well, you should. I wouldn't disagree with you. The road to power is paved with hypocrisy and casualties. Never regret.
God damn, he's good. A great show. You gotta give him that. Rules are for followers. Think about it. The people who create the rules are outside of the social code. They have to be first, they have to be the leaders. You have to be an outlier to create rules for the public. And in my personal experience, people who can handle being the outsider have to have a great ability of self-control, both mentally and physically.
Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
To not become disadvantageous because of that attitude. You follow rules here and there, but you always make sure that your needs are met before assuming the moralist cape. You are your mental point of origin.
Every kitten grows up to be a cat. They seem so harmless at first, small, quiet, lapping up their saucer of milk. But once their claws get long enough, they draw blood, sometimes from the hand that feeds them. For those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule: hunt or be hunted.
Naive generosity and goodwill at the cost of yourself won't get you anywhere in life. And no, I'm not condoning amoral behavior. I'm just stating the facts. You should always try to get your needs met before showing any kind of virtue and compassion towards others. If you're neglecting yourself, if you're not prioritizing yourself, you will be perceived as a nice guy. And I have done videos on that. Being a nice guy ultimately implies that you undermine your own worth at the cost of being perceived as a good person. Hunt or be hunted. If you want to know more about power dynamics and how people perceive you, you're welcome to check out these videos. Tell me, did you like the show? Tell me in the comments what did you think about the show. But for now, Hossein, out.